Good daycare.
No computers?
No.
I just noticed.
We're laughing because every single one of us have commented on the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no computers! Oh, no computers! Oh, no
Do
computers!
you see the joy?
Well, that's fine.
There was an executive decision made, it takes more time to set them up and take them down for that little bit of stuff we have to do.
Yeah.
Probably get done faster this way.
Yeah.
You want to worry about why your computer's not working. You see, I'm not logging out here. I can't log in. Right.
Okay.
That takes about 10 minutes of our agenda right there.
3, 4.
Yeah, if they weren't shut down just right, they do not perform.
Well, we're one short because it's Mark now, too.
Yeah, because ours not on the I believe.
Oh, I guess Rex, you replaced
No.
Bill.
I'm from
Bill.
Bill,
That's
yeah.
not good.
Okay.
Planning, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Count and add it.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You know, but how it reads, and I will look to Christine's majority, so like 4 is half, so I think it's 5 and it's 4 and it's half the intricate.
So we need one more
We
body.
need one more body.
At least, hang on. Nope.
I'm pretty sure.
No, that's, never mind.
I get that Harv's position is open,
Okay.
Yeah.
but then that leaves us 8, and it specifically has this majority language in there.
Yeah.
Christine's looking it up,
I'm looking at
and we still have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Did anybody
Anything can
hear?
happen in 2 minutes.
Did anybody hear from our chair, Lyons?
No?
Okay. There
Right
she
back
is.
door.
I know. Again, no one's late.
There
She is.
Woo-hoo,
Yeah,
Coral.
we have a quorum. Yes, bye.
She, we're waiting for you to ask the question.
I was thinking the same thing.
What question?
Where's the computer?
I'm not offended by it not being there, to be honest.
None of it.
So sorry, yeah, we're all.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like
Like
it.
the ability to push it off the front of the counter is.
We're like kicking the battery by accident.
Yeah, yeah.
It says a majority. A majority of the commission shall constitute a quorum for conducting any business. And so,
That doesn't
we
really
have 9 positions right now on business, so that still would be 5, right?
I was joking, it's gonna take 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, I did 4. Is that, oh, no, 5, you're right. 5, that's
Or-
right.
or the
Yeah,
panic looks
there you
like
go.
something.
Okay. Got it.
Mission accomplished.
Oh, we do have one. We have one more? Oh, no.
sort of burn out.
Don't see that.
So we've got all these AI bots, right? Can we just not get some stuff for prints when it's supposed to print and the next thing in there? It's supposed to print in there.
I don't see.
Simple shit.
Perfect.
Right.
It's very simple.
Is that okay with
Yeah.
item?
Yeah, I don't think we're done.
But,
I also could.
okay.
Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Coos Bay's Parks Commission meeting for May 21st, 2026. We will start with a roll call. We'll start down at the end. Rex?
Rex Miller.
Jared Schmidt.
Ariane Lyons?
Kurt Benward.
Jamie Faraday.
Jennifer Worsing, City of Coos Bay.
Christina Texera, City of Coos Bay.
Christine Sylvester, City of Coos Bay.
All right, thank you so much. We'll go in a slightly different order just in case we have someone show up. I'm assuming no public comments since there is no other entity here. All right. Skipping public comment, we'll move on down to action items. Let's just go in a different order here. Let's do 3B, request for memorial bench at Mingus Park and the boardwalk.
Okay. The city has received 2 separate requests to place memorial benches. The first request is from Doris Jones to place a memorial bench along the Coos Bay Boardwalk. Mrs. Jones indicated that the bench would serve as a commemorative installation and would include a thoughtfully prepared plaque honoring the life of her companion of 46 years, James Hoffmeyer. Mr. Hoffmeyer was a retired teacher at Marshfield High School, where he taught for more than 30 years. He and Doris frequently walked the boardwalk together and greatly enjoyed spending time along the waterfront. In your council packet is a proposed location for that bench. The second request is from Greg Brown to place a memorial bench in the Mingus Park adjacent to the Mingus Pond. Again, there's also an exhibit for that. Mr. Brown indicated that the bench would serve as a commemorative installation and would include a thoughtfully prepared plaque honoring the life of his late mother. Mr. Brown stated that his mother was a graduate of North Bend High School and lived in the area most of her life. She frequently walked her dog around Mingus Park and greatly enjoyed spending time there. So both of these proposed locations are appropriate as it complements the surrounding boardwalk and park amenities while enhancing pedestrian accessibility and maintaining overall aesthetic consistency. Staff has evaluated the proposed locations for maintenance considerations and applicable design standards and is recommending the commission approve both requests.
Any commissioner questions or comment? Jamie?
Go ahead, Jamie.
I move that we accept this proposed bench placement.
Okay. I have a first. Do I have a second?
I second.
We have a first and a second. Do we have any further discussion about the both proposed bench placements?
Well, I'm going to vote for it, but you know, I brought this up last time. Once upon a time when I first started here, there was I understood there was a moratorium on things like benches and memorials. And maybe I was misplaced in that memory, which is certainly an easy thing to do. But, and I know the city probably has requirements for what kind of benches are acceptable and the appropriate places to place them. My question goes more to, how do we determine that it's appropriate to have a memorial bench or a plaque in one of the parks? And you know, for example, on the boardwalk, I mean, there's got to be a limited number of places to put benches, right? You can't have 200 benches on the boardwalk.
But I think we would be, we have plenty of benches that need replacement in our community. So I think once we get to that point, I think that would be amazing. But going back to the moratorium is on just memorials. The memorials that are not attached to an item that has been identified as an asset of the park, things that we need. So benches, water fountains. If somebody wanted to do a memorial for the restrooms, those are the kind of entity items that can be tagged as memorials as specified. The things that we no longer allow are those freestanding random plaques in our community parks that just say, Susie was awesome and she stood here once. Those are the things that we no longer allow.
And we've got that written down somewhere?
Yes.
Okay.
And then to tack onto that, we have a standard bench that we buy, so we have standardized parts, replacement parts for that. And then we do check all requests for pedestrian accessibility. That is one of the things that we make sure we
Yeah,
do that.
they can't pick they can't go to bench.com and pick whatever bench they want. They have to, it has to be an amenity that we already would include. And oftentimes, if they're open to it, it's an amenity that is in need of replacement.
Yeah. Do they sign anything when we do this?
So we don't do too many of these. We do have a very simple form, but it's, what are you looking for?
Yeah, I'm looking for the thing that Ariane mentioned, is who's responsible for maintenance of the bench.
So I believe our statement says something to the effect, and I don't have it in front of me, but it says this bench will be installed and maintained, but once it becomes no longer functional, the city has the right to remove the asset and not replace it.
But who maintains?
The city does,
The
because
city does.
because it becomes a city asset.
Okay, yeah. And we put them on a concrete footing or just into the ground, or?
So it depends on the location.
One of these is in Mingus Park, so is it on concrete?
So most of the time, the installations currently for Mingus Park are on a concrete piece because it makes it easier to mow around, but it depends on what location in the park and how wet it is at that location.
And do they do the concrete then too?
The city does the full install. We don't allow anybody else to do the install.
So that includes the concrete?
Yeah, they pay for the bench. They pay, I don't think they pay for the install. I can't remember. I think we bill them for the whole kit and caboodle.
city staff will absorb the installation costs.
Okay.
City staff.
Yeah.
Okay. Good thing we're flush with money.
It is a good partnership. I mean, we do get a place for our park and boardwalk goers to sit, and the requester pays for that bench. We don't have a budget to purchase new benches or replace deteriorated benches. So it's those partnerships that we are looking at.
Yeah. And most often, it's a location that has either historically had a bench in the past or has a bench that is in need of replacement, and so that's an opportunity to replace that asset with only installation costs to the state.
Okay.
And the city does review the plaque to make sure that it's appropriate, no curse words, things like that.
And when I look at the maps, they look like they're appropriately placed in places where it's not. There isn't another bench close by, especially on the boardwalk. It's right next to the south opening. The next bench is probably, I don't know,
It's right
50
here.
feet away.
The next bench is
Yeah.
right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that may not reflect the Benetti bench that was put in.
True.
True.
I don't know where that one went.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
I think it went towards that end, too.
Yeah.
Why don't we call for the question?
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on down to our next action item, we're just doing them in different orders today. We're going to do action item 3C, park and grant updates.
Okay, I'm just going to go through anything that has changed since the last meeting. However, if there's something that you have questions on that I didn't touch on, please feel free to ask. So the first one is the John Toppitz Park wildfire mitigation. So the project is 75% complete, but the contractor had to pull off the project due to prior commitments, but anticipated a return to work late July. The next update will include the Mingus Park rewilding project. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but we have installed the interpretive sign, and so that project is complete, and now we're just waiting for the vegetation to establish. The next project is the comprehensive bike and ped plan. That was a TGM grant through ODOT. So ODOT has selected a consultant, Parametrics, and so now what we're in the process of doing is finalizing that scope of work. You folks reviewed that scope of work earlier this year, but we're still not anticipated to award. This is ODOT's timeline until end of summer.
So we might not see formation of a citizen group before the end of summer.
I think you'll probably see it like middle of summer so that we can be ready.
Okay, great.
Nothing new with the Mingus Park Community Building. So Mingus Park Playground, this is a new one. I believe it was last month that staff came, and presented this as a potential grant project. So we are still moving forward. We're getting close to finalizing that grant application, and it is due June 5th. Nothing new on the Front Street. Empire Boat Ramp, debris broom. We were successful in getting that grant from OSMB, the Oregon State Marine Board, for $595,192.86. And so we're still going for those 2 additional match grants, but I don't have a schedule for that project, but I'm sure Greg will report on that next month. Operations and maintenance. So we cleaned up 21 abandoned camps in the Empire area and picked up 46 cubic yards of trash and debris. We're still continuing to mowing and maintaining the parks, and I chuckle a little bit because this time of year that just is never ending.
Yeah.
Worked with Coos Forest Patrol and AYA to remove hazardous, dangerous trees in John Toppitz. Removed 30 truckloads of brush debris out of John Toppitz. Prep trails for paving activities inside of John Toppitz on the Ackerman entrance trail. And then we planted trees in Eastside, Mingus, and John Toppitz Park. And any questions?
Jamie?
Back, I missed it. 2026 Oregon Department of State Lands Submerged Lands Enhancement Fund?
Which one are we talking about?
And the Empire Boat Ramp.
So those are the two. So the $595,000 OSFB grant is only a part of the project.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to have some additional funds, and those are the 2 grants we're going for. If we don't, we do have an alternative funding source, but we are trying to get grants
Okay.
for the whole entire project.
Okay.
All right. Any other additional commissioner questions or comments? All right. Thank you. All right. Looks like we will not have a Marshfield Pioneer Cemetery update today, and we'll roll into staff and commissioner closing comments. Rex?
We don't have anything other than it's great to see the sun out.
Yes, for sure.
About the same thing here. Nice to be able to go walk around Mingus and enjoy. So thanks for the city for all the hard work you continue to do.
All right. Thank you so much. Kurt?
I think Patrick mentioned it last time about people pulling into the Mingus Park where the restrooms were. And sure enough, within a couple of days of that meeting, I was going up 10th in the evening and somebody had pulled in there again. And I know there's a question of city staff access and they don't want to have to, I don't want to make it onerous for them either, but maybe we can put our collective minds together and think of some creative way to maybe discourage people to drive in there. It looks so nice and paved. I think people that don't live here may think, well, that's where I go to park to use the restrooms. And I'm afraid some kid's going to come barreling down the trail on his bicycle, or somebody's got a dog that gets out in front of them or whatever, and they aren't expecting anybody to pull in there, and somebody does. So I'm glad he brought it up last time. I kind of thought, well, maybe it doesn't happen very often, but I think it does.
No, thank you for bringing it up. I'll take a look into that. We'll report back.
So,
Yeah, we can discuss a couple different options at the last meeting, allowing access, because having city staff stop and then get out and cross and open it, creates a dangerous situation as well. But I think there's got to be some sort of way to
Agreed.
Because it's happening a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
Yeah.
And I say that I wasn't at the last meeting, so
Yeah,
I'm glad you told staff, and we'll look into it.
yeah. All right, thank you. Jamie?
that's all I got.
Okay.
The Bicycle and Pedestrian Fact-Finding Committee met yesterday to share an app that Micah Lynn, who works for the city, he's a GIS wizard, and he put together an app that we could use to go around the city and find and register all the bike racks and list what their amenities are, take a picture of it, and it'll show up on a map that he is creating. And also do the same with potential sites that we might suggest where those bike racks go. So that when the consultants come to town, we can just hand them this map, and that part's done by volunteer effort. So, yeah, fun.
Is that going to be a public-facing map that we can share to people that shows all the bike rack locations? That would be really
I'm sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'd host it if we need somewhere to host it. So
Right.
it'd be helpful.
And we're also putting on there which ones are U-bolt
Oh, yeah.
friendly and those that aren't.
Yeah.
And
I
there's
think-
only one type that is not right now.
It's the legs, yeah, it's the legs.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Staff closing comments?
The only thing that I have is Greg wanted me to ask this commission if he wanted a work session next month.
Oh.
He won't be here, but I mean, I certainly can facilitate that if that's something that's desired.
I think pending, unless we have some other project or pressing matter, given my compressed schedule for the next couple of weeks,
Sometime.
I would be comfortable skipping, but open to a consensus.
I will not be here for that particular one.
Okay. All right. So I think the consensus is we'll skip the work session this
Thank you.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And that's all I have.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody being here today. A very efficient Parks Commission meeting that we rolled through, but go out and enjoy our parks. Take notes of things that are working. I surveyed a bunch of kids about playground equipment, and referencing what we did last week. And so it was very interesting, and kids love playground equipment, and they talk about who has the best playground equipment at school. So it is a hot topic of conversation of which park you got to go to. So it's exciting that we're updating some of our playground equipment.
So do we need a kid focus group on this?
Oh, that would be fun. So when it is actually fun. So when we updated the Powers playground equipment, we did that to some degree, and then because was a different entity, we did a fundraising project with the kids, and they ran laps and jumped rope and did things to help raise money for their playground. But different style, but something maybe when the foundation takes off, they could look at for encouraging kids to help pick the equipment, understanding how much the equipment costs, because then they have some ownership over it and they take better care of it, and then participate in the install as well. So that's something that we could look forward to in the future. So, all right.
Sign them up for the adopt-a-park.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, we could have see which class can pick up trash the fastest. So, yeah. All right. Well, Well, when I was in elementary school, they used to make us muck out the pond, which I know they're not allowed to do anymore. But a lot of free labor there. So. Who says I'm not? Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today, and I hope everyone has a most amazing and very safe and in remembrance of everyone this weekend, Memorial Day. So, thank you so much.